I know everyone and their mom has had an opinion on Rise of the Skywalker because it's been that long since it came out, but I was super disappointed. Like, just I didn't have any expectations for it. It wasn't like I was poring over spoilers or trying to find out all the information I could about it or looking at any of the material they were putting out to hype it or preview it. I just knew I wanted to see the conclusion, so I saw it, and I really didn't like it. I really didn't. I guess there are some to recap my opinions on the new trilogy. There are parts of it I really, really like. I really liked all the new characters. I liked how they were all getting their own subplots. They all had a reason to be there. Um, all of them. Poe, Ben, Ray, Finn, like all of them had a story going, especially in The Last Jedi. But I also kind of hated that the new trilogy was kind of low, not even low key, really. It was just basically a remake of the first trilogy with some new interesting stuff going on that really should have been the focus of the series. So I was very conflicted on Force Awakens. I liked Last Jedi more, though I had some problems with it too. I really liked how the series used the old characters of Han and Luke and Leia and intertwined them with these new characters, and I really appreciated how the first one was Han's movie and the second one was Luke's movie. I was curious how they were going to deal with Carrie Fisher no longer being around to be the focus of that movie from a returning character standpoint. But I was offered a free ticket through some volunteers at work. Somebody couldn't make the showing, so I was like, free ticket to the opening night of Star Wars? Sure, gonna go. And I remember watching it and thinking, like, am I not enjoying this? Like, what's going on? And I think it all starts. I think my disappointment all centers around with this movie, the Emperor. Like I was curious where these story threads were going from Force Awakens, which kind of established it in a way that was a little vanilla and a little remakey and fine, and then sent them on an interesting direction in Last Jedi, and that direction is just completely railroaded by the Emperor. Like, what happened? Like, the Emperor wasn't in this at all. He didn't have anything to do with like anything that was going on here. It was a story about Kylo Ren. Like, if you were looking for a bad guy in the series, it's Kylo Ren. It's Kylo Ren versus Jin, whose will win out, whose interpretation of the Force will win out. That's your conflict right there. Whether or not Kylo's going to be a bad guy or a good guy. That's basically the conflict. So the Emperor shows up at the end of this in in Rise of the Skywalker and just kind of takes over the movie. Like, suddenly he's the bad guy. Suddenly all the conflict is supposed to be about him, and he's the answer to all the questions. He's the answer to who am I calling her Jin? It's Ray, isn't it? You know why I messed that up? Because we've named animals at the zoo after these Star Wars characters, and Jin is the one I currently work with. Okay, I'm not going to restart this because I feel like I made some good points. It's Ray versus Kylo Ren. To see anyway. The Emperor is Ray's father or whatever the heck. That's who that's who makes her strong, and that's who her past is. And like, okay, all right, fine. That's not a super satisfying answer, but whatever. Who cares? Um, he's the answer to who the bad guy of the series is. He's the answer to who who was behind the Sith Lord before he got killed in Last Jedi, and I was so happy he got killed in Last Jedi because it's not his story; it's Kylo Ren's story. But anyway, so the Emperor just railroads the entire plot and turns it really, really hard into it just being Return of the Jedi again. Like you got to do this weird stuff at the beginning, and then you got to go kill the Emperor and his. Okay, so not only was the Emperor annoying because he railroaded the entire storyline. What he wants doesn't make whole lot of sense. You're like, okay, you want to take over the universe, but you have all these like planet destroying stuff. So are you gonna destroy the universe? And who are these? Who is this choir or crowd of like people spectating you? And why are you alive? And like, why do you have like 100 planet destroying ships just kind of chilling out in some far corner of the galaxy, not helping with the rest of the empire? Like, what is this? How did you build this fucking army? Why have you been sitting here doing nothing for 30 years? Like, what is your plan? Why does it make no sense? So that was annoying. For me, the climax is like 2/3 of the way through, right? Like you're going through the movie and they do all the fetch quest BS, and you get Kylo Ren fighting. Goodbye, dog. You get Kylo Ren fighting against Rey, right? And Rey wins, and that's it. That's the answer to the question that I was asking the entire series of who's going to win, Rey or Kylo Ren, whose will is going to win out. It was Rey's. Cool. That's a satisfying conclusion. Unfortunately, it's not the end of this movie, so they can't make it the big climax because they think the climax is over there, even though the climax is right here, which means by the time we get over there, I'm like, I don't really care about this space battle. That's just a worse version of what happened in Return of the Jedi with both the land battle and the Emperor battle and the space battle at the same time. Because my climax was over there, buddy. You should have ended your movie back there. You should have storyboarded your movie so that it ended back there. And yet here we go, making ridiculous, silly statements about the dark side, blah, 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 and all that. And okay, my theater, when I was watching, because of course the Emperor dies, when my theater was watching and Ben and Rey win and they're like hugging each other, whatever, I think we're all collectively sitting there going, don't kiss him. Mm-mm. Don't kiss him. That's weird. Mm-mm. He's been abusing you mentally this entire series. Don't kiss it. And then they did, and I was like, oh god, that's weird. Weird and creepy. And I mean, I guess they're not related, but they kind of could be, depending on your interpretation of how Anakin was made. I mean, I guess it's pretty Star Wars to have kind of like sort of maybe possible incest happening for no reason, but yeah, just mm-mm. This movie was really disappointing. Just really, really disappointing. And all the characters I was interested in Last Jedi with where Finn was going, with where Poe was going, with where Rose was going, with where God Hux, like all of these characters they just did not have time for or didn't like where they were going, or the directors had completely different visions for what they wanted, or like it was super frustrating when it came to that. Like I was curious what Hux was doing, and then it was like, oh yeah, I'm the mole and I'm dead. Like, why were you in this movie, dude? Like they didn't have a part for you. They didn't like where you were going. They didn't have room for where you were going, and you're gone. Rose is like nothing. Finn is kind of back to being an idiot. Or not kind of back to being an idiot. He just kind of has no purpose. He's like, maybe I like Ray, and you're like, that's it. That's all you were positioning yourself towards like there is no good, there is no evil, everything's some kind of shades of gray thing, and then this. What about Poe becoming the leader? I guess that was kind of sort of played out, but and I know Carrie Fisher passed away, so her part had to be probably greatly reduced. Though I imagine Anakin probably would have, or sorry, I imagine Kylo probably would have killed her anyway because he's killing off every big character. Like, what was the first part of this movie anyway? Like, Chewbacca fake died, and that was awkward. And then like the characters are running around for no reason, and they're not being the most likable bunch in the world. And why is the random dude from Lost here? And it's super obvious, like, whoa, that is the dude from Lost slash Lord of the Rings. Is he going to be a major character? No. All right. Okay. Yeah. In conclusion, like, wow, that was super disappointing, and yeah, it's like the worst third movie. It's definitely worse than Return of the Jedi, but I think it actually fails in its mission more than Revenge of the Sith. Like Revenge of the Sith at least feels like a conclusion to like three movies that were going in one direction and is the best one of that series even. But like this is I don't know where to rank him now because like this one was bungled so badly. It makes every movie in this trilogy just feel completely like separated from each other and not even about the same thing. And like I was reserving judgment for Last Jedi until I saw this because this was definitely gonna dictate how good The Last Jedi is. And I got nothing, man. This one was bad. This one was real bad.